Okay, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Downtime presented by Conequip Parts, where if you have downtime, you might as well spend it with us. Say hello to Andrew, everybody. Look at that. We got Seth over there. Yeah, dude. Okay, we got a doozy of an episode, one that we've been wanting to do for a while. So what are we talking about today, Andrew?
You asked, we listened. It's the Killdozer episode. Roll the intro. Hi, Luke.
What up, Andrew?
Okay, yeah. Let me tell them. Downtime, it's about time. Big bad problem, trying to stream it down line. Downtime, turning all the cash to dirt. Downtime, getting us back to work.
There we go, Seth. You done did it again. Sorry, it was you done did it again there, Sethy. Seth Fonda on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music, ladies and gentlemen. Dude's got the voice of an angel.
Now.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Cotton Candy Sky is streaming now.
Cotton Candy Sky is
Facts.
streaming now.
Facts.
Great. When's the next album dropping?
June of 26.
Look at that.
wow.
Everybody.
And that's,
Something to look
I'm
forward
dead
to.
serious about that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the Killdozer episode. This was actually supposed to be like our first episode that we ever did, but we,
Got canceled immediately.
It got canceled immediately. Now we got the go ahead, but we did talk. The first time we did this, we talked for like 2 hours about it. What we need to know, or what we need you to know, is that we're giving you kind of the Sparks Notes version because we want this to be a digestible video.
What is going on?
This guy's good.
This guy's...
It wants to be a that didn't even help. Digestible video for you guys. So there's obviously more that can be covered. You can do your research in your own time. We're going to kind of give you just the Sparks Notes version, kind of like what I said. So one great quote that you've probably heard before is from Mr. Marvin Heemeyer, who is the creative mad scientist behind the Killdozer. We'll start it off with this. He said, "I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things," which is just an all-time quote. Unfortunately, it had to do with
it's a
something.
bar.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's sick.
It's actually
but
disappointing that not a single rapper has used that yet.
Maybe they have. I guess I don't. I just learned about it last year that this was a Marvin Heemeyer quote. Maybe there is some. I don't know.
Guess we're gonna have to look
Let's
it up.
look it
A
up.
lot of rappers out there.
How many rappers have Marvin Heemeyer in their bars, dude? That's actually that's missed opportunity there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very
If you
good-
throw that in one of your songs, just make sure you shout out Downtime too. That'd be great. We need as much exposure as
That's
possible.
the bar after you quote Art Marvin.
So we'll. I'm going to give kind of a brief history of Marvin Heemeyer before we get into the actual Killdozer thing. So Marvin John Heemeyer was an automobile muffler repair shop owner in Granby, Colorado. He's born in South Dakota on a dairy farm, and then he settled down about 16 miles away from Granby in 1989. And Granby, Colorado is where this all went down, where the entire, Killdozer episode went down. A few people said good things about Marvin. One person said he would bend over backwards for anyone, but then an associate said, if Marv was your friend, he was your best friend, but if he decided that he was your enemy, then he was your worst and most dangerous enemy. So this guy was a bit of a polarizing character in the town where, the people close to him really liked him, but I'd say 95% of people really just didn't like this guy. He was a problem. And we'll get into that. So well before the incident, this happened in June 4th, 2004, the actual Killdozer thing, which happens to be my anniversary with my wife, which is sick, dude. We got married on the 20th anniversary of the Killdozer.
Oh my gosh.
Or sorry, 21st anniversary.
It's actually part of his vows.
Yeah.
You're like, I love you,
loved it.
babe, and shout out Killdozer.
Shout out Marvin.
Okay.
Because sometimes reasonable men have to do unreasonable things.
Like getting married.
And she's sitting there
Like
what
getting the government involved.
What's going on?
So, well before that all happened, in 1992, Marvin bought 2 acres of land for $42,000 and planned to lease that property to a friend who was going to build an auto repair shop there. But at this sale, when the sale was final, there was a family there called the Dochefs, Cody Docheff in particular, who Marvin says berated him at the sale. Nobody else who was there said they recall there being any sort of animosity between the two, but Marvin said that Cody Docheff kind of treated him very poorly here. So it should also be noted that the property also had a buried cement mixer, so there was like just a cesspool of toxic waste in his backyard, and they asked him to replace it, and he just kept giving them issues like, no, you should pay for it, I'm not doing it. The entire time he owned this property, he never fixed that. There was just toxic waste in the land around the area.
Was it sewage?
Yes. Yeah. So
pretty sick.
But he refused to do anything about it. Like the town kept saying, like, you should probably put in like a new septic system or something. He's like, you pay for it, and they're like, no. And he's like, okay, no then. Like he was just one.
So he put that there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
why-
he didn't put it there.
No,
it was there when he
bought
bought it. So like,
I might be on his side about this. Why would he
why-
have to pay for that?
If he didn't buy it from like the county or the state, then why would the state have to do anything?
yeah.
It should have been part of the agreement when he purchased the property
Honestly.
from the previous owner.
Yeah.
True. I still don't think he should have paid for it.
Yeah.
But somebody should have.
They said
somebody.
the system, I think, was going to be twice expensive as the actual property. So like, of course he's probably a little upset.
Right.
I bought this place for $42,000 and now I have to spend $80,000 to put something in. I understand why he'd be a little upset, but
Sure. That's your weekly poop talk from the Downtime boys.
nice. We did it. We got him in there. Yeah.
Can't go a whole week without it.
Yeah. So eventually the Dochefs, they were this big family in Granby, Colorado. They wanted to expand their business under this thing called the Concrete Plan, and they wanted to buy the property back from Marvin Heemeyer, and they were going to offer him a certain amount of money. So he originally asked for $250,000 for his property. That's what Marvin wanted. Then later, he asked for an extra $125,000 after he apparently had the lot reappraised. So now he's asking for $375,000. The Dochefs come forward and they're offering him $350,000, which is pretty dang close, especially since your first ask was $250,000. But then Marvin said he got the property reappraised again and is now asking for $450,000, which is equivalent to $855,000 today.
All within the same year?
Yes.
Property
this,
value
This
doesn't
probably
jump
all
that
happened
much,
within a
does it?
month.
Marvin is certified psychotic.
Dude, yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
Obviously that eventually fell through, and I think they just like set up shop across the street.
Yeah.
And he was very much opposed to this concrete plan, mostly because the Dochefs were putting it on, but he had so many issues with like local government officials and all that kind of stuff. So basically he was just opposed to the people who were running it, but also they wanted his property. So like there are so many issues that this guy had with the local government. You can do your own deep dive into that. But at this point, people were really starting to get fed up with Marvin, understandably. He also attempted to illegally connect to a neighbor's sewer line, which he actually did, and then he was fined $2,500. And this is now 9 years from when he was originally asked to install a different septic tank
He's
and all
just a
that.
menace.
Yeah,
He's,
dude.
I'll do it myself.
Yep.
Fine.
So then this is kind of when the Killdozer was born here. When asked to make the buildings up to code, he originally agreed, but go figure. He rejected that later that day, saying the requirements are a form of terrorism, so like what? And then an attorney at the judgment allegedly heard Heemeyer mutter, I'm just going to bulldoze this whole place to the ground.
Oh, no.
So that's okay, there's
All right, there's the foreshadowing.
There's writing on the wall here, you know. So this is when the Killdozer is born. So now he knows that the zoning decision was final, so he's definitely really upset. So he travels to California to buy a Komatsu dozer, D355 Komatsu dozer to be, specific. He bought it for $16,000 and had it shipped to Granby. And then surprisingly, he sold his business that he wanted to keep for so long for $400,000. He sold it to some people, but he leased out a part of the building because he, quote unquote, what did he say? He had to finish some work, basically. He also illegally made headquarters, or like a headquarter, like just a sleeping area in this place because he thought going home was a waste of time because he is now working on what we now know as the Killdozer. So originally he went and bought this dozer in California, and his initial idea with it was to sell it. So after it failed to sell, Heemeyer saw this as a sign from God to start the Killdozer mission. He lost all of his marbles at this point, dude. They fell out and they're down and traveled up a road down a storm drain, dude. So now the Killdozer comes to life, ladies and gentlemen. Basically what you need to know, again, you can dive into this, find all the quotes, find all like the actual local state officials or whatever.
There's whole
There's
documentaries
quotes,
on it.
there's documentaries, there's all this stuff. If you want to do a deep dive, like I said, we're just giving you a little crash course here because it's just such an interesting story. So the Killdozer comes to life. This is what he constructed. This is what the Killdozer actually is. The modified dozer was fitted with makeshift composite armor, plating covering the cabin, engine, and parts of the tracks. There was concrete in the middle bonded with plexiglass. It was also fitted with several video cameras linked to 2 monitors on the dashboard. He was also worried about getting too hot, so he installed an air conditioner. He made 3 gun ports for rifles, and there was also 3 handguns found at the end of the incident. The driver hatch was welded shut, so it's safe to assume that Marvin, after carrying out this mission, wasn't planning on coming out. Obviously, I think you guys understand what that means. So on June 4th, 2004, this is the day. Starting at around 2:15 p.m., Heemeyer and his Killdozer began their rampage by driving it through Mountain Park Concrete, which, you guessed it, is owned by the Dochefs, way back to Cody Dochef, who, berated him at this initial sale. Cody Dochef was in the plant when he was notified over his radio that there was an explosion at the shop. Employees tried to jam the tracks to no avail, and Cody, believing it was being remote operated, began shooting his pistol, climbing on top of the dozer, and even tried stopping it with his own front-end loader. Nothing worked. While Cody was in the loader, Heemeyer began firing rounds at him, so now he knows that it's not remote operated.
Jeez, oh my
A sheriff and trooper came to the scene and were also shot at by Heemeyer. Other officers showed up and tried to destroy the cameras on the dozer, but they were unable to penetrate the 3-inch bulletproof plastic. He began charging at officers, firing at him, and there were mere seconds from getting crushed by the demolition of the building they were under. So that was like the first place that he attacked because he had such an issue with the Dochefs and the concrete plant and everything that they were apparently doing to him, and obviously, like, listening to the story so far, you can understand that Marvin's probably in the wrong. He's a very stubborn old man, but I have his path of destruction here. So the local law enforcement alerted the town to evacuate, thank goodness. They tried dropping a flashbang even into the exhaust with no avail, and Heemeyer then started to advance towards Granby Town Hall.
So he just ate it?
He put it in the exhaust.
He put it in the exhaust. Probably didn't even reach him, you know?
They put it up the exhaust.
Yeah.
What was that going to do?
If you have a flashbang, do you think you have a grenade?
Probably. I would assume so.
Gotta throw one of those in
Yeah,
there,
right.
boy.
Well,
Put a potato in the tailpipe.
Yeah. that usually does it.
A potato?
A potato up it, dude. Just jam it.
Nothing like an Idaho potato.
He's going to get carbon monoxide poisoning eventually. He then went towards Granby Town Hall because he had so many issues with the entire town hall, like all the officials that were in there. And it was hosting a story hour for children at the time. Luckily, they were able to get everybody out by the time he attacked that. He then turned to the Liberty Savings Bank, which was aimed at a corner office where there's another woman who was an official who he just didn't like. Then targeted several street fixtures such as trees and traffic lights before focusing on offices of the local newspaper and the homes of the Thompson family, which are another powerful family in there that were helping the Dochefs kind of do their thing, I'm pretty sure. You got something?
You said street lights, and you just had a problem with street lights. Like, I had to stop at a red light here once. I hate it.
Yeah, that is true. The fact that he targeted them. Yeah, that's true. He probably was like,
I should be able to have greens anytime I go out.
This doesn't need to be a 4-way.
You ever just like mad about one thing and then the little
Everything
things
else
start pissing you off?
Yep.
That's basically what this is.
He was just driving. He had no plan to hit those places. He's like, oh yeah.
This stupid
This
intersection.
McDonald's messed up my order last week.
They
It's
never
like when
put
you
the extra pickle on, dude.
It's like you stub your toe, and then everything after that just makes you angry.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Marvin Heemeyer and the Killdozer. He next targeted a propane storage yard, which is pretty dangerous. Began firing bullets at tanks and transformers, and police had to quickly evacuate everyone within 1,000 yards of the site because there was a senior housing complex right next to it, dude. If you hit one of those transformers, everybody in a 1,000-mile radius or whatever they said, 1,000 yards of the site,
And like the next 15 planets.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. The Transformers are gonna come and beat you up.
That was actually going to be one of my ins and outs. But I was like, it's an obscure callback to this episode. I was just going to say out those Transformers in Transformers
Prime.
robots in the sky.
Bumblebee's out here like, whoa, dude, you shouldn't have done that.
Dude.
But it sounds like the radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even mimic that. It's like 16 million voices that he does.
It's just clips
Is
from
Bumblebee skits?
what?
Maybe.
Bumblebee
He
might
talks
be
in one of the
skits.
ones.
Oh.
He actually ends up talking in one of them.
Yeah, they finally get him a voice
Wait,
box.
for
one
real,
of the
for
newer
real?
ones. Yeah.
Wait, do they give him a voice box or he's like, I'm done playing?
Dude, he's fighting Optimus Prime, and he's like, Optimus, my oldest friend. And we're like, whoa,
Okay,
whoa.
he is skits because when he's fighting Optimus, all right, you can't just fight your homeboy.
He was.
It's been a minute
I
since
can't
I've
remember.
watched
I think this was one of the Mark Wahlberg ones.
I am Bumblebee, your oldest friend. Optimus, I would lay down my life for you.
Back to this is when it all ended. Heemeyer then attacked the Gamble store because the owner was involved in hearings about the concrete plant. As the dozer went through the building, one of the scrapers was maneuvered onto the sidewalk to block the entrance. They were using scrapers to try and block it on the road, which didn't really work, but they used it to block the entrance here. He was unaware that there was a small basement on the property, and he accidentally had one of the tracks slip into the basement, which completely immobilized the dozer, and shortly after, the engine began leaking and the radiator was damaged before the dozer completely failed. Even if he was able to free himself, the dozer was not able to operate. One of the SWAT team members who surrounded the machine at this point heard a single gunshot from within the machine. So, at that point, Marvin knew he was caught. He wasn't getting out of this. I did do some research. He was looking at, I think, a minimum of 40 years in prison, but a maximum of 100 plus years. Unfortunately, tragically, this came to an end, and like nobody else was hurt. Nobody else got hurt in this entire attack, which is absolutely absurd. The only casualty was Marvin himself. So he carried out this mission knowing he wasn't gonna survive past it. Basically, he already kind of made up his mind, which is obviously terrible. He had some terrible mental health issues. If you know anybody with mental health issues, hopefully they wouldn't go this far and do anything like this, But we'll throw some hotline numbers in the description and everything, and there's that. That's the worst part of the story right there.
You said the engine failed and the radiator failed, and then he got his tracks stuck. If you need any of those parts, give Conoco a call, 716-836-5069. We can get you any parts for your Komatsu, dozer, loader, excavator, or any other maker model. Just give us a call. We can get you those parts.
Hell yeah, that was sick, dude. Nice.
I broke Seth.
We have a heavy equipment story here, dude.
I
so
was not
it's an
expecting that to be a segue.
easy segue there from
Yeah,
Andrew.
just call, check on your bros, make sure we're good.
Do
I
that
got all this
first,
in the
but if you
description.
need parts,
what
you know
did he
who to
have,
call.
though? Did he get his track stuck? We got tracks.
Tracks, engines, diesel components,
That was good.
radiators.
Axles, transmission.
We're bringing it back.
Axles,
Give me the scale.
transmissions.
That was a freaking 9.8. That was
Nice.
good.
Thank you.
Dude. We're
Thank you.
back, baby.
But for real, check on your guys.
Yes.
And gals.
The attack lasted a total of 2 hours and 7 minutes and damaged 13 buildings, 11 of which were occupied until moments before the destruction. The damage was estimated at about $7 million. And then when they opened the hatch, they found enough food and water to last a week. So he definitely wasn't planning on this being only a 2-hour excursion, So it could have been a lot worse, actually. But again, nobody was hurt, and that raised, Heemeyer has a lot of followers, like a lot of people who actually idolize him. They don't just like the story, they idolize him, yes, because they view him as like a big, like almost leader of civil disobedience, which there was nothing.
So basically they like anarchy.
Basically, yeah. But then they were also, they're saying, oh no, he did this, he purposely didn't injure anybody. And all the police officials were like, it's wildly lucky that nobody was hurt.
He had a hit list.
This had
Let's
nothing
be
to
honest.
do with
Trying to hurt people.
Yeah, this had nothing to do with him not trying to hurt. It's just crazy luck that nobody was hurt.
I don't think dozers move all that fast. I don't think they're really made to, so at least they have time to get out of the way.
Yeah.
But I think
whoever
his
called for an
plan-
evacuation, smart. Very smart, because I don't think they really knew where he was going.
Right.
They just maybe assumed the town, but like that's a huge heads up moment right there.
But I'm going to throw up a ton of photos and the videos and everything up on screen, but what a freaking sight to see, and how nobody knew. Even Marvin was like, I'm surprised nobody saw this. Kind of like he after all of this happened, they went to I think his home, and they found like basically memoirs of people who have wronged him. There was 107 people on the list. The dough chefs were the first ones.
Didn't he have like, what is it called, manifesto?
Yeah, basically. He called the dough chefs the do chefs in this. It was. I thought that was kind of funny.
Low hanging fruit.
Very low-hanging fruit.
But then there's also,
he's probably chuckling at that too when he wrote it.
There's also audio recordings that he made, I think like 2.5 hours of audio on like double-sided tapes, and I'm pretty sure they're on YouTube if you want to hear them, hear his voice and how kind of just whacked out the guy was at this point. Obviously, terrible story, but the actual Killdozer itself, I think that's what people latch onto, because it's a freaking dozer covered in concrete and steel. And
He made a tank.
He made a tank.
Straight up.
I would say he made something maybe a little stronger than a tank, because that thing was just made for destruction.
It was crazy.
I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. But what a sight to see. Imagine living through that, you know? Like, you're part of the town just watching that happen. That's some serious trauma.
Yeah.
It is crazy,
How much money
dude.
did he cost the town?
It was $7 million in damage, which I don't know what that would equate to today. And then another thing is, I think the dough chefs, because a lot of their buildings got hit, I think they had like really bad insurance and only got like half the money of in damages back or something like that. It was something rough. Like, he definitely wronged the dough chefs in those last moments. Yeah. That's basically the Killdozer. I got some quotes from him and everything. So he did say in his first recording that God built him for this job. He also said it was God's plan that he not be married or have a family so that he could be in a position to carry out such an attack. He says, I think God will bless me to get the machine done, to drive it, to do the stuff that I have to do. God blessed me in advance for the task that I'm about to undertake. It is my duty. God has asked me to do this. It's a cross that I'm going to carry, and I'm carrying it in God's name. Now, listen.
That man's possessed.
Yeah, if you think God's talking to you and he's telling you to do very, very destructive, violent things.
Telling you to kill people, essentially.
That's not God.
Yeah,
That's not the God we know.
Why would he say that?
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know. I just think it's blasphemous for him to even say, like, God bless me to carry this cross or something. It's like, bro, you're doing nothing to like help or
but
save
at this
anything.
point, that's how far gone he is. He thinks he's actually doing something very noble, and like, it's almost like he's like sanctifying himself by doing it, you know? So he's very far gone at this point.
Yeah, I wonder where your head has to, like, that is so far gone.
Yeah, and he had a manifest. I mean, you can listen to the audio recordings and just hear it for yourself. The guy was pretty nutty. It's 2.5 hours. Like, if you can sit through the entire thing, good for you. So some other things that, other quotes that came from this, he says, what is about to happen is God's will. I am his tool. He is using me to get the attention of the people. He says, I am willing to sacrifice my life, my future, to prove a point to these people. I am not a martyr. I am a man who was pushed too far. There comes a time when a man's spirit is stronger than his body, and I know I am at that point. The truth is, I've been dead for a long time. This is just the final chapter. And then while he was building it, he said, it's interesting to observe that I was never caught, because it was a part-time project over 1.5 years. He was renting out a space from the property that he sold. He said there was people there all the time with like the Killdozer right by it, and he said for some reason maybe their vision was obscured or something. He has no idea how, and he would like bring it up to friends and stuff, but like he did because he did have
Silly
friends,
Marvin.
but he was kind of like that fringe friend where people are like, it's just Marvin, you know, like, but yeah, so
Bro, also shame on them. Check on your boy.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
But even he was like, I'm surprised I didn't get caught.
He just had a big tarp that he kept it under, and he's like, yeah, it's a big art installation I'm working on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he said something. what did you said something before that he surprised he wasn't getting got caught. What was it before that?
The truth is, I've been dead for a long time. This is just the final chapter.
You get to that point?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Seek help.
Immediate therapy.
Yes.
Way before even that point. If you think you've been dead for a long time, I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Yeah. So
gotta get rid of the stigma on mental health.
Exactly. Especially back then. I mean, this is back in 2004. I think
also his generation is what? How old was he when he passed?
I don't know the exact age. I want to say in his 50s, maybe.
Okay, so 50s at that time, he's definitely like a part of the generation that didn't believe in mental health at all.
100%, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, and we've kind of destigmatized mental health more these days, but back then, he probably wasn't. A manly man's not getting help.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's unfortunate.
And there's a lot of men who it's not just women. There's a lot of men who suffer in silence. So, obviously, if you need mental health or you know somebody who needs some mental health help,
I would say more men suffer in silence than women. Women, I feel like, are a little bit better
to be a little more emotional.
And are better at articulating their emotions than men. Men
articulating for sure.
Yeah, men just like, I don't know. It's sometimes I feel like it's easier for you to just swallow it and then like internalize it by yourself, but then it gets to a very dangerous point where you just like you genuinely feel stressed. You're just stressed all the time, and it turns into anger, and it turns into other outlandish things that you'll do.
Only so much you can bottle up.
Absolutely.
Because if you have, there's a thing called departmentalizing. When you have gone through the mental trauma, it then literally passes it off to your body, and you'll start feeling that in the ways of stress, or you might even get diseases. It happens with grieving a lot when people lose people. I know that happened when I lost my brother. I literally I had the worst back pain I've ever had in my life. Like my liver would just I could feel it inside. I was like, why is everything hurting? And that was because strong grief and strong stress and strong emotions and things that you bottle inside, your mental can't take that, because if you did, you'd go psycho. So your body takes it on, and he got to a point where it's like, geez, there's too much of that.
Absolutely.
The human body's crazy.
It is. It's wild. There's a lot of things to protect you, but you gotta do something about it.
This is kind of a side note, but Jenna was telling me this, my wife was telling me this the other day, with two plants. So you know how people tell you to always talk nice to your plants? So they actually did a test, and the one that they talked nice to and good morning, watered it, took care of it, grew amazing. The other one was rotting, which was insane.
They still watered and gave it sunlight, right? Or did they keep it what was the...
I think it was all the same thing.
They just said bad words to it.
Yeah, they said bad words to one and talked really nicely to another.
That's crazy.
I
have a money tree at home, and we say the most heinous stuff to that thing, because it cannot die. My wife hates this thing, so she's calling it this is stupid.
Please stand by.
Whoopsie! Ha ha ha! We'll get fired if we say that.
Just get rid of it.
I don't know why I was thinking about the plant thing. I think it was more so you treat your mental health correctly, that your body will follow, kind of thing. Grief is a terrible thing. Depression's a terrible thing. And if you need help, then reach out. We got some numbers in the bio that you can get a hold of. As always, well, actually, if you want to hear more about the Killdozer, obviously we had to give you a little bit of a crash course, but if you want us to dive deeper into the details, let us know, 716-929-5066, or let us know what else you'd want to hear about. Send us voicemails, texts, videos, whatever you want. If you want to be aired on the podcast, this huge podcast that gets millions and millions of views, then
just not on this
just hit us up, 716-929-5066. As always, we're going to end every episode with an in and out. So Seth's panicking. As you guys know, which we probably should have said, we hope you had a happy new year, so because my in and out has to do with New Year's. Actually, all of mine from today will have to, not that we're recording multiple episodes today.
We would never do that.
So out, New Year's resolutions. Out. In, stop ruining my lifts for the first month of every year. You're not going to renew your gym membership. Be real. which is I'm kind of on the fence about that because I'm all about you, bettering your life and going to the gym. I think everybody should be healthy. It's just that first month after New Year's sucks, dude. It is. Oh my gosh.
You're not serious about it, man.
Yeah.
If you know you're quitting after 2 weeks, just don't go.
Yeah. Have you done this 10 years straight and you think this is the year you're going to stop? I hope it is the year you stop, but I better see you for the entirety of the year.
I better see you every day. We better be bros.
Yes.
Slap you up every morning.
Exactly. I want you to spot me. Okay?
Gyms should give the dedicated people a free month for every January because
you have to deal with it.
Because you have to deal with everyone that's like, new year, new me.
Yeah.
Is it a new year? Why does January 1st make any difference?
Exactly.
Just because the calendar resets doesn't mean that you should have to.
Yeah. They have this mentality of fresh start kind of thing, you know?
How come not February 3rd?
Right.
How about June 8th?
Time's like a man-made construct. Let's be real.
True. Out time. In. Just do the stuff you want to do when you want to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Just do the stuff.
Good.
Oh, where was this place? Was it in Norway? There's a place that has like daylight for like 30 days and they just shut down the town for 30 days. Nobody pays attention to time. You got people up at like 4 a.m. running their days to 1 and just like they're doing their thing. They close school and
isn't
everything.
Alaska like that too, where it's like
there's
they
like 40 days a night or
6
something.
months of no sun and then 6 months of just only sun. That's how it is in that one Norwegian place or whatever.
But then then the winter it's just the northern lights. It's just a sick place. But they'll close down the school. They're like, we get 30 days of light here, man. Like, go have some fun.
Out fake weightlifting numbers, especially for, in particular, squatting.
Okay.
You didn't squat 315 for 5, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Your butt didn't go to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't hit 90. You didn't even go parallel. You just went... It was basically a squeak, okay?
Yep.
Knees bent just a little bit.
I don't care if it's 185 on the bar, 135 on the bar. If your butt touches the ground, it's a clean squat.
Yeah, you're doing
and
more.
And you hold for about 2 seconds.
You're doing more for yourself.
Way more. Depth is key, baby.
Those buns are going to be popping, dude.
Yes.
You want you want to be a quadzilla, baby?
Yes.
Squat.
Facts.
Squat correct.
Anyway, that's my in and out.
Yeah. So that's probably... Anyways, that's my in and out. That's going to do it for today's episode. And be sure to tune in next week to enjoy your downtime.
With downtime. Happy New Year.